hand down now.
From 5.
Put that hand down now.
5, 4, 3, 1, go. And we're
Illuminate's
rolling.
finally in the studio.
We're
Everybody's
here.
been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this. And we're about to talk about the Freemasons. We apologize if this first episode might be a little awkward. It might take an episode or two to get used to
It'll take a long time
talking to the camera a little bit.
For us to get used to talking to the camera, but it's a work in progress, and we're all gonna continue to make our best efforts to make this the best we possibly can.
By episode 6, we'll be pros. All right.
Oh yeah, it'll flow really well.
So we're going to start off with what do we have to start off with, David?
So we're gonna start off, since this is about Freemasonry. There's no reason people don't really care about the Freemasons. Like, most people never even heard of them, but they play a huge role in our government structure and the history of the American government. So we're going to go over how it's important in terms of the establishment of America, who was in charge of the government around that time. We're going to go over how it plays into the role of modern government and modern influence, and then we're going to get into basically some of their beliefs and stuff that they acknowledge in their fraternity. So, Banyan, you could go over the importance of Masonry based off of American history.
So I just have a couple of facts to put down real quick. The first thing that pops up when you look up Masonic beliefs, you get this 27-page PDF that's taken from the secret teachings of the Masonic Lodge. And it tells you all about kind of like the surface level of the Freemasons and just what they believe. So here are a couple of prominent figures that are also Freemasons. So let me start off with General Douglas MacArthur. We got Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Marshall. Charles H. Mayo, founder of the Mayo Clinic. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Earl Warren. And 2 senators that are 33rd degree Masons that we know are Bob Dale and Senate Majority Leader Robert Byrd. Yeah.
All right, so why is Freemasonry important?
Well, I mean, it's all over the place. It's
because their plan, right? The Freemasons' plan, whether or not their plan affects you right now, it will, and that's why it matters. You may be scot-free right now, and you're not affected by the evil order that's actually we'll get into that in another episode. But that's why it matters, because it will affect you one day, whether you like it or not. So
I mean, it affects you right now.
It's
does. All over the place.
They're literally.
Our
how many
first
poisons
president
are in your food?
Yeah, our first president was a Freemason.
Just look at his memorial, the George Washington Memorial. Just look it up. We'll probably put it up on the screen. But
We'll link a lot of stuff for you, so you'll see that. You'll see a lot of links to the information that we have. As you can see, there's a lot of notes on the table, and we'll provide YouTube videos and some other documents and sources that we've used, so that it's not like the information is coming from nowhere. You know, like some people will talk about this stuff and they won't give you sources, they won't give you where they got this stuff from, but that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, because we want you to fact check us. Like, there's no reason you should trust us.
Do
You
your
don't
own
know us.
research. Don't believe us.
Yeah, you
trust
don't,
but verify.
Why would you trust a stranger? That's like every parent teaches their kids, do not talk to strangers, don't trust strangers. So don't trust us. Do your own research. We want you to do your own research because we want you to come to the truth. We want you to come to the light. We want you to join the revolution. All right? Do you want to tell us about the Freemasons' beliefs?
Well, on the surface level, they basically just believe that they're a fraternity, a brotherhood, okay? A worldwide brotherhood.
Freemasonry, on a surface level, isn't really that bad. They have very good values for low-level Masons. They support community values, they do community service, they help out people like their neighbors, they help their families, they want to build, they build value. That's what Freemasonry is. They want to build value in their community and make their community a stronger and better place. But on a higher level than that, they have some beliefs that aren't really, I wouldn't say they're really that great.
Not Christ-like. Not Christ-like at all.
You could,
It's just not good.
there's some things that they believe and they do that the low levels don't understand at all. They don't even know about it most of the time. And it's a very weird ratio because it's probably about 90% of normal Masons don't even know what's going on the top level.
Well, that's how the occult works, right? So they give you 90% truth, right? Like, oh, a strong family unit. Yeah, we should have that. Oh, these morals seem like pretty good. Lucifer. They hit you with that at the end. It's a manipulation tactic. And this is what all occult, this is like the foundation of all occult beliefs is giving you 90% good truth to grab you in, and then you're already pulled in, you're already sucked in, you already love it. Now you're worshiping Lucifer.
That's what
Yeah,
they slap you with.
and
They
you're
don't
taking
even-
under
You don't even
oath.
know. Yeah, you have to take an oath, and before you even know it, it's too late. So
And-
there's the society that's within the major Freemason society, I would say, is only 33rd degrees. You have to hit the 33rd degree mark, which takes around, it probably takes them around 10 years, at least. It took Albert Pike 10 years.
I mean, some of them,
So-
And even
it's
then,
quick, but
you're still at the bottom.
Yeah, it's the billionaire class of 33rd degree Masons that control a lot of stuff in the world. And that's the society within the lower level societies. So to understand Freemasonry, we have to look back at the origins of it. And it started off as just a group of stonemasons, really. It was people that built all of the greatest architecture that you can see in Europe and all across Europe, really. I don't know where else they were, to be honest with you, but I know it was Europe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And mainly like England, and they built a lot of stone buildings that they had back in the day. And from that, they started to run out of work. You know, you can only build so many buildings. And they were travelers. Once they built the buildings in their area, they would travel to other places. And most people during this time period, they didn't travel. So these Masons started to gain a lot of knowledge from other areas of the world that most people didn't see back in that time period because people couldn't travel. Nowadays, travel is so easy and it's so accessible. We could be across the world in half a day. Give me 24 hours, I could go be in anywhere in the world.
I mean, you can have a breakfast in Italy, you can have lunch in Greece, and then you could have dinner in
Dubai.
UK. Or Dubai. You can literally, you
You could go all over the place
you
in one
can eat a
day.
meal in any country you want to with a private jet.
So these stonemasons would travel around and they started learning a lot. They started picking up on a lot of stuff that most people didn't really see or know. And over time, they started gaining some of these esoteric beliefs, you could call them, hidden knowledge, hidden truth, you could say. But over time, they slowly began to run out of work, and running out of actual work, they began to just do these other beliefs. And excuse me for looking at some of these notes, but they basically went from operative masonry, which was in the medieval period. They built cathedrals, castles, stone structures, and they started using secret signals and symbols, which you see in modern masonry today. But they started using that all the way back in the medieval times to identify. They used these symbols to identify their skill level, and they would put some sort of signature on it, you know. But then they started to transition to what you could call speculative masonry during the 16th to 17th centuries. And so the need for stonemasons dropped, and they, excuse me, they started focusing on moral, ethical, and philosophical teachings. And from that, they established the Grand Lodge, and that was in 1717. And they established this Grand Lodge in London, and it is supposedly one of the most significant events in Freemason history, and it marked the beginning of organized and structured systems within Freemasonry, lodges, rituals, and degrees that characterize what you see as modern Freemasonry. So, over the course of 1717 and on, it spread. Freemasonry spread rapidly. There were a huge amount of Masons all across Europe, and it was probably like 5 to 10, I don't know the exact number, but it was probably like 5 to 10, maybe even 20% of people were Masons. Like, it wasn't a secret society at this point. It was a part of culture. Mm-hmm. And so it spread through that, and people started joining it that were higher intellects. You had people from different walks of life that were joining it. So the Freemason fraternity started to get way more spread. You get way more spread of ideas and skills that they have. And so they attracted intellectuals, scholars, and individuals interested in the organization's moral and philosophical teachings. Over time, Freemasonry developed various rituals, symbols, and degrees, fostering a sense of brotherhood and a moral development among its members. So, this is how you start to see in modern Masonry, these degrees, like we talked about earlier, the 33rd degree, that's the highest degree. That's peak Freemasonry,
that's
right
the
there.
end of Freemasonry.
That's the end
That we know of. Yeah.
That we know of. There's
things above Freemasonry in terms of secrecy, and there is a place some 33 degree Freemasons get to go after becoming a 33, but that's for another episode. So we'll stay on the topic.
Wait. But do you think that everyone to get to those higher levels that are above Freemasonry, do you have to be a Freemason? You think some people are just...
I do not know if you have to be a Freemason to become a Templar. You might have to. I think you have to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We'll go over this more when we have more knowledge of this in the future.
Yeah. Well, once we study for the Knights of Templar episode, we'll study for it. But
I will say this, however. The exact origins and early development of Freemasonry remain a subject of debate among historians, and some aspects of its early history, may never be fully clarified due to the lack of comprehensive historical evidence that we have. And the organization emphasizes on symbolism, secrecy, and moral development has contributed to the mystic, and the difficulty in tracing its origins. So, how secretive they have been in history has literally made it impossible for us to know the origins of it, which is unfortunate, but
yeah, like that whole origin story could have been
that could have been
just made it all up.
Yeah, it could have been fake, but from the knowledge that we have,
that's all we have.
That's all we can give you, and it does make sense. I mean, it had to start from somewhere, These beliefs, those beliefs that they
stonemasons. we'll slam those together.
Right.
Or it could have been that's the actual origin story. But there's no, like a lot of things, and when you look at history, a lot of things aren't 100% certain. It's a lot of, we don't really know. So you gotta use the best. God gave us a brilliant mind to be able to try to understand things, so we gotta use that the best we can to interpretate this information.
So, there's the physical origin of the fraternity, what we've just went over with you. There's a lot of origins for their beliefs. Now, they derive their beliefs from so many different places that it's impossible to say all of them. We know that they trace their beliefs all the way back to ancient Egypt with the story of Hiram Abiff, which we could go over in a deeper episode of Freemasonry, but for now, there's no reason to, because that's it's part of their rituals, and we don't really want to go over that right now.
Yeah, not too deep into that.
Yeah.
But the origins of a lot of their beliefs comes from pagan origin, I guess you could say, and what you call the Kabbalah, which we will go over later on in the episode, but we're not going to cover that right now because that's going to be pretty deep.
That's Rumble exclusive.
Rumble exclusive.
Yeah.
So,
check us out on Rumble.
Yeah.
with
Seriously.
this segment of beliefs, I'm going to pass it over to Banyan because Banyan is the expert on their beliefs.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over the surface level of their beliefs, and then we'll start going deep into what they actually believe in, because it's called a secret society for a reason, right? I mean, you really think they're just going to tell you everything if it's an actual secret society? So the reason why a lot of people join the Masonic Lodge is, well, I guess for connections.
Brotherhood.
And and it's the brotherhood, right?
Networking.
Networking, and you can get you some pretty nice positions in society, for sure. There's a lot of people that are government officials, and let me just list out a couple. You can always go check it out for yourself. Like I said, just look up Masonic beliefs on Google, and you'll see. So let me go over these real quick. Half of the Senate Judiciary Committee are Freemasons. They believe that everyone has their own interpretation of Freemasonry. You can basically believe in whatever god you want as long as you believe in a god. You can be a Freemason. If you're an atheist, you cannot. And we'll get deeper into that later. But yeah, you can do the rituals, and there's...
All you need is an architect. One person, one higher power, the architect of the universe. That's all Freemasons need. Sorry.
And, well, I guess I could just tell you right now, the reason why they want you to believe in a god is, well, because it's religious, right? They tell you that it's not a religion on the surface level, but if we go deeper...
Freemasonry is a religious group.
It's a religion.
Once you get that 31st degree, it's pretty apparent.
Absolutely.
Albert Pike says it himself.
What was I gonna say? Let's see.
So, their true beliefs past the surface level, what would you say changes?
Well, let's first talk about the degrees, right? So it starts off in the first degree, and it goes all the way up to the 33rd. Most Freemasons don't make it past the 3rd degree. It's either they literally cannot get past it because kind of have to be chosen, or they just don't want to go past it.
Yeah, Gary, the numbers guy, leaked, I think it was on the Zherka podcast, that you have to be a 33 life path to be a 33 degree Mason. And that's the only place I've heard that. So
He also said that he was a 33rd degree by birth and that he didn't need to be a Mason because he was a 33rd.
He did say that. He did say that.
So there could be something going on over there. We don't really know, but
We don't know.
shout out to Gary.
Gary, come on the podcast, all right? We want you.
Teach us, yeah.
Teach us.
Please.
I know you're going to want us to have clout. We'll wait, all right?
We'll wait.
We'll see you in September. Until then, I guess we'll just get back to Freemasonry.
Why'd you say September?
Because it's going to be September. I don't know. I got a feeling it's going to be September.
And if you don't know who Gary, the numbers guy, is...
GG33 on X.
He's a numerologist, I believe is the correct
Yeah,
term.
numerologist, astrologist.
He won NBA
Goat.
Finals. He has NBA Finals rings.
And why is that important?
King of
Because
the Mafia.
Freemasons also use numerology. So, once you start getting up into the higher degrees, say that the 30, 31st, 32nd, 33rd, you no longer adhere to whatever god you believe in. You adhere to Lucifer.
Right? Who is Lucifer? This guy got his ass handed to him by Archangel Michael.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. Brody got dragged out of heaven. Slammed into hell. The gates of purgatory. This guy is a loser, and he will lose. And these Freemasons worship a loser. So what are they? They're losers.
They have a lot of beliefs in Lucifer that they don't necessarily tell you that it's Lucifer. They say supreme being, or they say grand architect, or they say the designer or the creator, whatever they want to use, whatever word they use. Secretly, behind the doors of the 33rd degree, Albert Pike clearly says on page 321 in Morals of Dogma that Lucifer is the light bringer. Now, if Lucifer is the light bringer, then that means that's where they're deriving their power from and their light from. And
and the problem with not having rules is, like we already said, it leads up to all these things, and it leads up to all these things, right? LGBTQ, gay, that has always been seen as the occult, as a black magic portal, okay? Mm-hmm. It's a portal to everything demonic. As soon as you stick your penis into that anus of a man, it is a portal. You literally, you ejaculate, and then you dab up Satan. That is a contract signed for life. And that's why that ties into the rituals.
That's basically it, yeah.
Seriously.
No,
that ties
seriously.
into the rituals, right? The basis of all the rituals is air, the mental plane, fire, the passion, the heart, water, the creative energy, right here. All the creative energy going up into the fire, into the mental airspace, and then the earth, your whole body, your physical manifestation of who you are, right? This is the basis. Those are the elements of all of their rituals, right? So, Ukraine, and not just, this isn't just exclusive to Ukrainian soldiers. A lot of soldiers do this. This is what they'll do before battle. They'll light a fire. They'll cut their wrist. Blood onto the fire, right? They cover it with the dirt, right? So that's the water,
yeah.
earth, and then they light it on fire. So that is a water, earth, and fire ritual that they're doing. And you can even make an argument that smoking weed is a ritual. It's
called devil's lettuce. Why is it called devil's lettuce?
It's an earth and fire ritual. That's an actual argument, and it's probably unfortunately true, fellas. So, and tying that back to the gay shit, right? Cherry Marines. Our Marines in the United States do a ritual, right? There's these things called Cherry Marines. It's like the top elite Marines, and to become a Cherry Marines, you probably know where I'm going with this, they have to do a certain ritual. Mm-hmm. A black magic portal ritual that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. And they get fucked in the ass, and they basically, it's like a fucking black magic orgy there, right, with the Cherry Marines. And this is it's like a black magic, like soul tie between all of these Cherry Marines. It's like a humiliation ritual, like it's to break them down, like, it just humiliates them.
Where can we find that information?
You can look it up.
Here.
Zherka talks about it.
Yeah, I have some quotes too.
There's a lot of people talking about that.
I have some quotes too about why the sexual energy is the most powerful energy and the best ways to increase that energy. So
Freemasons all
best
practice.
Ways to increase your
all Freemasons practice semen retention, right?
Yes,
because
they do.
They believe, right? So the water, the creative energy inside of you, when you retain that, right? So they still have sex, right? But they don't bust a nut. When they retain this energy, they spiral it, right? It spirals up their spine, and they believe that opens their third eye. That's why they practice semen retention.
Mm-hmm. The Kundalini.
Is that the Kundalini too?
I mean, if it spirals up to your spine, that's exactly what the Kundalini is. So.
Wow, I didn't know.
That's another way to do it.
What's the Kundalini?
It's basically achieving like a God state of mind.
AKA, they're actually getting possessed. You look up videos of people completing the Kundalini that are like fucking flopping fucking around like this, bro.
Yeah,
like seriously for 30 minutes straight, and they're supposedly they're talking or they're one with God during that.
Yeah, they're in bliss.
But all that is they're being possessed.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm definitely gonna have to look into that.
It's crazy. I mean.
Yeah, there's a video of Jake Paul doing it.
Oh, I did see that video.
What?
Shout out Zherka, because I watched him and Sneeko react to that.
Zherka.
And then they pressed Mike Malak about it because...
Yeah, there's a video of fucking Jake doing it.
Yeah, and Russell Brand talks about it too, and Joe Rogan.
Russell Brand? He has a 33 on his arm. On his arm. Strange, isn't it? A bit strange, isn't it, Russell? We know what's up. He is another light bringer, aka a bullshitter, right? They cause the pedophiles, right? The dark, and they're the light. They're fake. It's fake. The light is Jesus Christ. Do not be deceived, gentlemen.
Gentile.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, here's a couple of other beliefs that they have. So, they think that anyone that is an atheist is just stupid, basically. Because, well...
They are.
Yeah. But...
We're not going to be shy about it.
Yeah. But that's also why they're trying to implement the New World Order. Right? They want to get everyone to believe that we are more than just flesh and blood. Right? It's the Great Awakening, you could call it, right? Yeah. That's what Russell Brand is a part of. And that's also ties in with the Antichrist, right? So they're going to be teaching us that we are actually divine spirits and that we can achieve godhood, right? Or like a God state of mind.
And what is godhood to them? It is the masculine and feminine energy in unity, right? There's a picture, we'll pop that up, right? It's a snake eating itself, right? The snake's mouth
You see it all
is
over
the
the
vagina,
place.
right? The snake's mouth represents the vagina, the feminine, and the tail, the masculine. And that is the symbol of godhood to these people.
Yeah, yep. What was I going to say though?
Yeah, the symbols all over the place.
We should talk about the $1 bill though.
The $1 bill is kind of crazy. There's a lot of Masonic symbolism in it, sure. I mean, you see the pyramid with the separated eye at the top of it. That's a Masonic symbol alone right there. People say it's Illuminati. The Illuminati...
It's just 13 families.
Yeah. And Freemasons have had control over America for a long time, like I was talking about in the beginning of the episode earlier. They were ingrained in our founding fathers. There was multiple founding fathers that were Freemasons, multiple people that signed the Declaration of Independence that were Freemasons. There were 40 generals in the Revolutionary War under George Washington, or with George Washington, were Freemasons. Like I was telling you earlier, there was a huge spread of Masonry across Europe, which eventually spread, of course, into America, because it was all just...
And what do these
Europeans.
Freemason founding fathers build after we win the war? Lady Lucifer in New York.
Yeah.
AKA the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Right? That is literally Lucifer.
Holding the torch,
You're gonna
the
have to
light.
do your own deep research on that, and you're gonna have
Bearing
to
the light.
They've been making it obvious since forever. It's not like this is all new or something.
I mean,
no,
just-
this has been going on. World War I. Guess what? The Morals of Dogma, right, talks about World War I. It predicted it. It predicted World War II. And what does it say about World War III? It says that the political Zionists and Islam will destroy themselves.
Look what's going on with
Right?
Israel.
And then what's going to happen? They will come for Christians. How will they do that? It won't be violent like a lot of Christians think it's going to be. It won't be.
They've already begun.
Deception.
They've already
Right?
begun.
They're going to destroy the Matrix. And then, well, I guess Jesus never came back. He must not be real. And then that's how they'll do it. Dark and Donnie talks about that on Twitter. He is probably the best source of information.
Oh, yeah.
To get past all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Christian, definitely follow him on Twitter. Seriously.
A lot of them are controlled opposition and all participating in bringing about this New World Order. So, what is the New World Order? Well, it's basically everything that we've been talking about. Just, right, isn't it? Taking everyone and just combining all the religions into one, right?
The idea of globalism.
Who is prophesized to do that? The
Oh, the
Antichrist.
Antichrist, yeah.
The Antichrist.
Who is anti-rules, anti-government, He just
They're
wants
completely free of
free,
everything.
free to do whatever you want with no consequences.
Be who you want to be. Do what you want to do. Be with whoever you want to be with.
And what's the New World Order? I've never seen that.
That is anarchy.
Oh, yes, you have. You have seen it. Okay, on the back of, or on the dollar bill, right below the pyramid, it says Novus Ordo Seclorum. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
I think so.
And it means New World or New Order of the Ages.
America is the New World Order.
And you know what surpasses that? This saying right here. Deus Volt. It means God's will. And God's will surpasses their shitty ass plan because God is the best of planners.
He is.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the New World Order said on the dollar bill. Guess who made those dollar bills? Freemasons. So much Freemasonic symbolism on that dollar bill is Freemasonry, the New World Order.
I mean, they put it in your face. They put all of it in your face. All the symbols, all the celebrities, right? Couple symbols that you'll see, right? Okay. No, what does this actually mean? To them, what does this mean? They tell us it's okay. But this means 666. And what does this mean? See, you might see tonight, we can't with this video.
Repeat that again.
So, unfortunately, our camera died, so we're going to have to finish up everything that we were just talking about and we were about to get into in our part 2 of unveiling Freemasonry. But I do think that there's going to be a lot more value, and that one's going to be crazy. It's mostly going to be on Rumble, so you're going to have to stick around on Rumble to get that. But we were about to get pretty deep, and it got cut off, unfortunately. But we'll finish it off soon. Within the week, we'll film it, and we'll have it out for you.
Yes.
About to get really deep about the predictive programming, and just remember, revelation of the method. Remember that.
Closing statements, Jacob?
Christ is king. Lucifer will lose. Archangel and Jesus Christ are going to tag team his ass. And we'll love to see you next week, fellas and gentlemen and ladies. And
Let's get some claps. Let's get some claps in here. Let's get some claps. Great job, boys. Great job, gentlemen. Great job.